guys have going on for the Halloween stuff? The 3 tickets at discounted prices? That's awesome.
Oh yeah. I hope the I hope it works out. Like I think the attendance has been going up nicely. Like our
Yeah.
standing room's been packed. I've noticed like I don't really have enough room to like yell at the players now from behind the goal. So, and I have to keep it a little more PG because the kids are around now. So it's been
Oh.
a good setting actually.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good to hear.
Well, I really like the standing room too, and you get a pretty good deal. I think it's like $30 for the 3 games, so $10 a piece. Just go out there, chit chat, get that live action right there in front of you.
What else are they doing for Oktoberfest this weekend?
I think they're just gonna probably sell the limited edition like orange kits again. Yeah, I think they've only done that twice now, and I think this might be the last night. So,
Are they going to do any Steins or local breweries coming out there?
I'm honestly not sure.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything announced either.
Yeah, it'd be like that sometimes.
Sometimes I feel Twitter has to do a lot of the media announcements, but it's part of the game. And as the league continues to grow, I feel like there's a lot of opportunity for channels like us here at Linners and Wosers, and we're joined with Rich and Bryan from League One on the Rocks. I love it, guys. You guys can go ahead and follow both Rich and Bryan at their podcast on Twitter here. I just dropped the handle. It's going to go ahead and go along a little bit below, but I just want to go ahead and say it's been a while since we last had a podcast together, all four of us, since April. I know because I was on a cruise, and
you were on a cruise.
Can't forget that. This is not the cruise environment, unfortunately. This is my office, and I was at a Rapids 2 press conference earlier, so in case I had to have my camera up, I wanted to show them. But I came back from reffing, so I couldn't change it to my hailstorm stuff. But I promise you, there's hailstorm stuff all over this room, guys. Rich, Bryan, how are you today?
Doing great, man. It's good to be back.
Yeah, definitely good to be back. It's good to see you guys again, and it's going to be a good time. I got a feeling.
Nick, all decked out on the hailstorm stuff. How are you?
Good, yeah. I'm excited. I'm getting ready for Hailstorm and Future Legends to announce their W League women's team name anytime soon. Been anxiously waiting for that, so can't wait for that. Just got done coaching my freshman team for high school. Always fun making them run. So, yep, doing good though.
How's the weather up in Foco? Is it starting to get cold?
No, it's been like 75. It's actually been kind of nice. It's not really breezy. Bryan, Rich, I see you guys have been holding it down with the USL League One this year.
Yeah,
with
we've
the
been
show.
attempting to.
Yeah, we're having a lot of fun with it. It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of consistency too. It's nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're trying. We had a couple weeks there where either I was having technical difficulties or Rich was having technical difficulties. So it's I think 2 weeks out of the whole season ain't too bad though.
Yeah, the fans can wait.
Yeah, exactly. There were several weeks there where we were doing the Friday night episode as well as the Sunday night, getting a reaction, like a preview to the weekend as well as a reaction. And we went back to doing the weekly shows. You guys were on, I think it was the one of the Friday night. That was the cruise episode, wasn't it?
I think so.
It was on a Friday. Yeah.
Yeah. I was in Chicago that weekend too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went back to doing the weekly shows, but I mean, we just love talking about League One.
I mean, honestly, since I've known about League One for a while because I knew Lachlan and I knew he was balling at Greenville. So, but man, once I saw that, like my area, I only live like 25 minutes away from Future Legends. So, getting a USL League One team it's been great. Like just actually having a local team to support. I don't really want to drive like the hour 20 minutes to get to the Rapids. So, not really worth it for me anyway.
Yeah, I drive an
Opposite for me.
hour to get to Union Omaha matches, but I mean, where else am I going to go to get some soccer in the area? You know,
Exactly.
I can go to college games, but I want pro soccer.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a little bit of drive for me as well, but it's always worth it because you get to go through. I practically go through all of Denver, north, all the small towns, and then get to Windsor, and Windsor's beautiful. I like Future Legends Complex. It's nice. I mean, it's uncomparable to Dick's Sporting Goods, obviously, but it's got potential. I think playing on a baseball field kind of grew on me. At first, I thought baseball fields without the dirt and on turf were really weird. I didn't really, I don't know, playing on turf is a little bit shaky, but it's nice. When I was standing, I know I'm going to bring it back talking about being on the sideline. When I was standing there was a play, just Bruno Rendon, the way he came down on the sideline really fast, just feeling that action. It's pretty cool. Not going to lie.
So are you going to start advocating for all League One teams to start playing in baseball stadiums?
No, absolutely not. Well, you know what? Maybe I will advocate for one side of the length of the field. Let's try it out in USL League One, where one side of the field is not bleachers. It's just people standing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
Wouldn't
kind
that be
of
fun?
like One Knocks. They got that mini hill on the far side of the broadcast
Yeah,
angle.
that's nice. Yeah, I was gonna say like it really hasn't taken away the experience because honestly, baseball stadium and soccer they like lack an atmosphere because it's just the way it's shaped and everything. And I really because there's no dirt and I honestly even watching him Hailstorm on TV, it hasn't been the worst like view. You know, like instead of watching like I don't know Tulsa who play on their baseball field, it's kind of a little rough.
Yeah. I saw an article today that there's a club in California, Lancaster, if I remember correctly. They got a $10 million, I don't know, a gift from the city or something like that to renovate the baseball stadium to turn it into a soccer stadium. And they're hoping to join League One in the coming years. It's going to be pretty cool. The
Yeah, out in East
the pictures they
California.
had were cool.
Yeah, that'd be. I saw the same thing. I think I don't know. There's mixed opinions about this, obviously on Twitter, but I kind of like if we can get to the point where it's League One sustainable, and we can maybe end up having like more regional matches. But I think I like that it's moving a little bit out of the Southeast, where there's like I don't know 2 or 3 teams in North Carolina alone. So just getting someone to I don't know how long. I have a feeling Fuego's gonna probably be demoted in a few years or so until because they have a lot of like off the field issues, but like just having more teams in the West, like we're gonna have Spokane, Washington, maybe Lancaster now. I just think it's gonna be nicer for Omaha and say a hailstorm instead of having to go east all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be tough for the Western teams like Northern Colorado, like Central Valley, having to travel east every single week to have those matches. I mean, it's just the travel logistics alone. It's just got to be a huge weight on those clubs financially, logistically. I mean, in so many different regards, it's got to be a huge troublesome factor for them in their operations.
Yeah, that's why I think if we get like I know we're getting Brooklyn, I think added to the league. What are the other USL expansion news?
There's some other expansions that are looking to pop up around the Great Lakes area. I haven't seen too many coming in the coming years out west. I mean, you do have Spokane, you have Velocity coming in, you have Santa Barbara coming in.
Their president gave me the scarf, the
Oh yeah,
Velocity. Yeah.
oh that's cool.
Very nice.
Man.
So I think it's starting to look good. And the league's getting more like credible as we go on. It's just like I don't know. I love seeing the addition of like Lexington and One Knox, and I'm very curious to see how this whole NISA thing plays out soon as well.
Yeah,
because they're not paying anybody. Like that's crazy to me. Like that's shady, and
yeah.
I think they should lose their professional status for that. And I don't know. Obviously, it's probably not going to happen, but like I want a way to bend the rules to get Chattanooga FC somehow in the championship. Like that's a community club if I've ever seen one.
Yeah. And pulling them from, I think they're going to be going to MLS Next Pro, but to be able to pull them into League One instead would be a huge get for the league. Automatic rivalry implications. I mean, just the interactions. They're obviously a successful club, so you would be inserting a big competitor to the league as well. I think they would be a great addition to League One.
I think they need to find a way. Like it has, because I don't know. I'm not sure about the other squads, to be honest, about their financial capabilities. I think LA Force are decently on money, but they're in a saturated market, so I'm not sure if they're even worth going after. But I'm like, wow. I look at Chattanooga, I'm like, I see something huge, and I'm like, the USL need to go after him. I'm like, it's kind of crazy that you're gonna let MLS Next Pro, and you don't want to see a team like that in MLS Next Pro where they're playing against, like, not everyone's as cool as St. Louis, showing up to their reserve team. Like, you don't want to play with crowds of like 500 people. It's just not for them.
Yep. And they have to figure out a way to stop getting clubs to self-promote up to championship. They got to find a way to entice them to stay in League One and build League One as well. I understand that these clubs have to look out for themselves and they want to find that success. They want to find financial stability and everything, but at the same time, if you have 10 clubs in League One but you have 30 some odd up in championship, I mean, there's a huge imbalance, and there's got to be some adjustment made there.
And I think there's teams not even thriving in the championship that probably could be. You probably should knock them down and then promote the League One with them coming down and having a bigger league. Like, I think the league needs to get up to, like, not soon, but like up to 16 teams at least.
Yeah.
And then eventually 18, and then you're kind of a solid league.
And there was that pitch by 2026 that we were going to have so many clubs in League One, but we haven't seen any evidence that it's going to grow and actually fulfill that pitch that was made to us as fans. So that's another troubling factor, because if you have that pitch and you're saying we're going to have that many clubs, what's happening in all these developing clubs, and what's preventing them from joining the club here and now, or joining the league here and now?
I'm worried about when Jake Edwards left as the president, because I felt like he had the sort of the right path going on for USL, and I'm not. I mean, obviously I'll give him time, but I'm still skeptical of the Inter Miami guy that's coming in. So I hope they keep it like. I know we're supposed to have Santa Barbara Sky, but like they don't seem to exist online or have a social media presence. So,
yeah, I mean, seen a whole lot of action going on there.
Yeah, there's a ton of untapped markets that can be picked up. These mid-sized markets, and I feel like it's probably the expansion fee plays a big part of it. Because I mean, it's not a small amount of money, so you're not going to see a return on investment in that in a city like, I don't know, Sioux Falls or South Sioux City or something like that. These smaller population towns, your return on investment is going to be over 7 or 8 years, as opposed to some of these bigger markets where you can probably return your investment in 2 to 3. So that's a big deal, but there's nothing you really can do about the expansion fee. I mean, it kind of is what it is, and it's probably basement right now as it is. So,
Nick and I had this discussion with the Rapids, actually. I mean, the only other way possibly logistically to get around that expansion fee would be by buying an owner, buying a team that's already in decline, maybe getting at a market discount there. But, these owners are not inclined to go ahead and make a sale at a lower price than what the market expansion would be, because theoretically, no matter, if it was lower years ago, nowadays you're losing that value. So they would just rather, I think, some of these clubs would just, like Nick, we're talking, Fuego, for example, it's just going to go ahead and get demoted rather than having someone come in. And so I'm with you, Rich. I haven't seen much evidence here supporting claims that the league is growing in itself.
I think, aren't we getting Northwest Arkansas?
I was under the impression they were looking to
Or was
try
that
to go into championship.
They're going championship, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's frustrating.
But they were on Twitter
good for the
for a
championship.
while, and they were constantly active. I mean, though not everything happens every day. I mean, they were. I felt like they were constantly keeping us up to date, letting us know when the town was getting together to talk and vote on certain discussions. And then now I feel like the ball has started to roll really fast, and it's gotten pretty big.
It does sound like
we got Portland, Maine. Sorry, we got
Yeah.
Portland, Maine, and they
Yeah.
actually look sweet. Like their supporters coming out to their like the scarf launch and just everything. Like I forget Maine exists. Like
Yeah.
it's just up there. So I'm like, wow, like there's people up there turning up for soccer. I'm like, wow, like I'm totally welcome for them to be in the League One.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I think there's some good news coming out of, Tucson. It sounds like FC Tucson is finding some more stability, and there's a possibility of them returning to League One in the coming years, and hopefully that's true, because I'd love to see them back in League One.
I think that would be the closest team to me. It might be between Omaha and you guys.
How much of a drive is it to Tucson?
I honestly don't know on the top.
Yeah.
I just know Arizona's close.
Yeah, it's about the same. Omaha might be a little bit closer to you than to me.
Than margins.
Don't try to pull away from us.
We won't in this table. So
yeah,
it sounds like Union Omaha's owner and Northern Colorado's owner are pretty good buddies too.
I feel like Casey's a very likable. Well, some of the whole front office is they're very likable individuals from everyone that I spoke to. So I don't think there's been an incident where there's been any. They've shown negative personalities. At least, and every time I've gone to the stadium or at least Future Legends Complex, they're walking around chit-chatting with fans. I've spoken with Casey a handful of times. So
yeah, I think every tiny dispute we've ever had with the supporters group and the front office has been settled in quick time.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't even know if they're more like concerns than disputes, if anything.
Yeah, and then I feel like they've done a good job too, because they were during our kit launch, they had their speeches and they were like, we came into this, we're not really soccer people, but they've completely, in my opinion, like bought into this as much as they can for what they know, to the soccer culture. I think they really understood that adding the standing room on the side, that it just really brought that atmosphere. Because like I said, I don't even feel like I'm on a baseball field when I'm there. I'm like, it's set up so nicely and just that turf.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, I'm not gonna lie, also guys, it also helps in our second year in the league that we're a good team. We have superstars. I mean, not to like sound super exciting or anything, but it's more exciting to show up and watch Trevor absolutely killing it in the league, scoring goals, and then a player like Arthur Rogers in the back. So
I mean, you could go down the list. I mean, Lalo Delgado, Bruno Rendon, Noah Powder, Robert
Noah Powder. What an addition! Like mid-season.
Yeah. I feel like Noah Powder is one of the most underrated, underappreciated players in League One at the moment.
Yeah,
he does not get talked about at all.
I think I could do a better job at promoting him as well. But from what I've been telling, I try to teach the fans at games, about these guys, because I do have, sicko knowledge toward the league and stuff. So I try to tell them. I think I was telling them since he's come on, he's been like a top 2, top 3 player, Noah Powder, for our squad. I've been super impressed. He's held down the wing and the outside or the fullback position very well.
Yeah, I don't feel like there's a player on Northern Colorado's squad that I wouldn't put in like the top 3 players for that position. Like you go across the entire league and each one of them, they have one of the top 3 guys. It's insane, the squad that got built this year.
And it's super nice. Like we got Danny Robles back, and he looks like a much more mature player after winning the USL League 2 title last season or in the summer. And so like I think, and that's why I was saying I'm going back to like our front office is really like let Eamon take the wheel as well and let him implement like who he wants to be on the squad. Like getting someone like Billy King from overseas is something that I don't imagine many League One managers could do, except for Eamon and his, foreign connects.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Brian's a big fan of Billy King.
Yeah, I am, and I continue to be. I think I might have spoke a little bit early on my preseason awards for him as MVP, but he's definitely had a rocky first start of the season, but has really come on this last part. So, yeah, but this is a very good Northern Colorado side. That's for sure. One of the top 3 in the league for sure.
I definitely, I before the season's coming, I kind of saw it coming because I'm like, when I saw who was leaving the squad, I felt like they could have been replaced almost. And I feel like I kind of just had to trust Eamon's gut that he got someone that he wanted over those players. And he pretty much kept the core of all our solid players like Rob Cornwall, Breck Evans, Arthur, Nordy. And I wish we could have seen him play more this season. But Irvin Parra was one of the big names I really wanted back. And I hope he stays next year. And he's on a 2-year contract. So I hope he stays next year, and he might get interest or something, but I hope he comes back and he balls and he's healthy again.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about Omaha. You guys have just absolutely have turned up. You got Noe Meza, you got Juba, you got Akoff just running that wing.
Yeah. They're the wing players for Omaha are definitely would be put up as like my MVPs for the season. I mean, Akoff and Shaft Brewer Jr., just what they bring to the offense, being able to go and play the entire length of the pitch and being 2 of the faster players in the league definitely helps. And you definitely notice when one or both of them are out of the lineup.
Yeah, and then I'm sick of the guy, but Noe, that guy always turns up against the hailstorm, like probably one of my least favorite and favorite moments of the season is when he scored that bike on us,
Yeah.
Like that was incredible. I was like, tip my cap to that,
I mean, what else are you going to do at that point? I think a goal like that, even if it is against your team, you just, okay, it is what it is.
But yeah, you guys are 10 games winning, 11 unbeaten, and that tie was against North Carolina, so it's not like it was a good result, I'd say. So
yeah, definitely the start of the season was
I'm not sure
rocky.
if it's
You good, Rico?
I was gonna mention, sorry. I was just gonna mention then since I've been following more of the league and not just NOCO itself, I feel a little bit of sense of more of a stronger rivalry with Union Omaha with NOCO than I do feel with CV Fuego. If this season's particularly, we're just been like, we've been whipping their butt. And it's been kind of nice as a Hailstorm fan. Our first home game at Future Legends Complex was the Derby. But I don't know if it's because you guys are also very close. Just I know a lot of the individuals that I discussed USL League One with, mostly at Union Omaha. I don't know what it is. Maybe the games are so exciting. The fact that you guys have some Italian players on there. But it's always super exciting. And for me, I feel like Union Omaha is is that rival, is that enemy in USL League One and in the scenario that we had last year in the US Open Cup. So just adding a little bit of salt
Yep.
to the
I was
wound.
gonna say I still have that in my head.
I don't know. It feels a little bit more intense when it's against Union Omaha than some of the other teams in the league. Not just saying that because you guys are obviously fans of the team, but again, when that sense of rivalry against Fuego, it's just not the same.
Well, I think that was league manufactured rather than just playing it on the field. Because I think we've played Fuego 6 times and we've won 5. Like, it's not. They're just trying to create something funny over there. But no, I think every Omaha game we've played has been fun. I personally, I can't tell who. I think our biggest rival is the Switchbacks, because, man, I hate those guys when we play them. Like, they're so rude at their stadium. I don't know. But, like, in the league, I would say maybe the closest would be Omaha. It's fun to, like, dog on Fuego, but like we have no, like, Hailstorm, we don't have any connection with, I don't know, Tormenta, and all those, like, East Coast teams. So I think just with distance, it would, our closest one, and with results, it would have to be Omaha. But I still don't see, like, beef. It's not like no banter really either between our 6 social media fans and their 100. So,
well, I mean, it was kind of like you were saying, the manufactured rivalry over at Fuego, because you guys won every single one of those matches on an aggregate of 7-1, and so there's not much of a rivalry to take place there. I mean, your front offices weren't really going back and forth with each other. Your fans weren't going back and forth with each other. But if you look at Northern Colorado and Union Omaha, yes, Union Omaha won 2 of the 3 this year, but on the aggregate, they are tied at 6 goals apiece. And so it's a lot easier to have that competitive rivalry there. Plus, I mean, you guys are active in the League One scene. You're active, on social media. You're interacting with other people, Union Omaha fans. So it's a whole lot easier to argue there's a rivalry with Northern Colorado and Union Omaha than Northern Colorado and Central Valley Fuego.
Yeah, you see me dogging on CU online.
Yes, did enjoy that for sure.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like your guys is probably with, like, history is maybe Greenville still, because they like to chirp, or maybe Madison. They like to chirp online. Madison fans try to beef with everyone.
It's been interesting this season with that one Madison individual, and then watching the. It feels like 1 versus 1,000 on Twitter, where every time Forward Madison and Union Omaha play, and you guys exchange banter, it just seems like it's so many of Union Omaha fans, supporters against you guys face off against Greenville, where Greenville has a handful amount of people on social media, or Lexington has a handful amount of people on social media. But it's been fun to watch this season, just some of the banter between some of the other teams. Because I don't know about you, Nick, I don't know a single CV Fuego fan other than one of the podcasts that we follow on Twitter with our lower league account.
I think follow a girl on there that's a CV Fuego fan or something, but that's it.
Leah?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, her.
Yeah.
No, but with Greenville, I think that's your probably closest rival, just because you guys have played in one final where you smoked them, and then there was the Asterisk Championship. And I just think every time you guys play, I think you guys have had the upper hand recently, but, like, it's always a good match. And every time, let's say, like, Walking 90 or you post it on, like, who's gonna watch which match or something, whenever you 2 play, it's always, like, the big attention of that week.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. It would be a huge injustice if the league ever scheduled Union Omaha and Greenville the same weekend as Richmond and Madison.
Yeah, the Henny Derby.
You can't have those 2 rivalries on the same weekend.
Nope.
So MLS has that where they got a rivalry weekend.
Yeah.
I guess so. Based on just taking off of that, it sounds like it's something we don't want in USL League One, where we have a weekend of rivalry.
I would be okay with it under one circumstance, if they staggered the watch
Yeah.
times so that I could
Okay.
watch them one after another.
Sure.
Yes.
You don't want them stacked all at the same
Yeah.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or just like, you know, Saturday, Sunday, and then stagger them.
True.
So you have
That too.
spread
Yeah.
them out. But I don't know. You compete with. They don't want to do Sunday games that much because then you compete with NFL that day.
Yeah,
Yep.
100%.
Yeah, that's true.
They can ask me to do a Golasso show where I do
Hey.
all the games.
I'd
Yeah,
watch that.
man.
I think like maybe like we should get a community together of League One podcasts and stuff, and you know do like preseason predictions with everybody.
Yeah.
Do like big podcast talks. You know, like really start to because I don't know. I saw that question where it was like, do you need to support or they feel like you need to support like outside your team and support the league. I obviously like didn't agree, but I can see the sentiment where you want to grow the league and get more fans involved. So that's where I think like that's like better, but I don't know. I'm not gonna like sit and follow One Knox's whole season personally, like and pay attention to them. Like I focus when like Hailstorm play them, and then I kind of keep up with who's around me in the table, whenever.
Mm-hmm.
That's like kind of how I roll.
There's teams that I enjoy watching, and I enjoy watching the league, but there are also teams in the league that I don't like. I just hate the team, and having to cover them hurts me every single week. But yeah, I mean, it's all part of it. I mean, the league is fun to watch. Just it depends on, you really have to find the teams that suit your watch style best. So,
Yeah,
I mean, if you watch a lot of European soccer, then you're going to gravitate towards those teams because it's easier to watch. If you watch a lot of American or MLS soccer, then obviously you're going to gravitate towards teams that play a more MLS style. So, I happen to watch both of those. So the league itself is fun for me too. So
what has more of an impact, you guys think? The style of play that we're watching, you know, with the capabilities of the players, or just some of the camera angles and just the quality that we get to see on ESPN Plus?
I think the style of play attracts the soccer fan. I think the angle would attract the casual fan.
Mm-hmm.
The style of play, there's some quality soccer being played across League One. And there's things happening on the field where if you're watching it, as you see the shift in the formation, the tactics and everything, it's really interesting to see how the other team adjusts to those tactics. But the camera angle can be more interesting for the casual fan, seeing, you know, from up high, from down lower, up close to the field. And then when you get some of the local commentators, like we saw earlier this season with Central Valley Fuego, it adds an extra element of spice and, you know, uniqueness to the broadcast, and that makes it a whole lot more fun for fans to tune in.
Yeah, and sometimes I feel like when I'm at a Hailstorm game, I mean I love the scrappy style of play, but I feel like I'm at like a brewery that has a soccer field at it. I feel like I'm just like the atmosphere is just so much like it's just different. It's local, it's niche. Like people there are there for their kids, you know, having fun or local activity, or me just being a sicko.
Yeah. And we've heard similar things from Union Omaha fans who have been to Northern Colorado for a match. You know, they felt like they were right on top of the field. They really liked the intensity, the atmosphere that was happening there. So, I mean, it's certainly a place that I want to visit sometime in the very near future.
Hey, you might have an opportunity to.
Exactly. That's what I was just gonna say, man. Hit the nail right on the head.
They're
That'd be
saying
awesome.
spring 2024, the big stadium will be ready. But
oh yeah,
we've heard since 2022 it'll be ready. So, but yeah, I hope like they can still recreate like in a 6,500 seat stadium. I hope they can still recreate kind of that close atmosphere. I do know that they are going to do the standing room along the side again. So that should be interesting. I hope we do end up playing there finally.
I'm excited to see what it would look like a future Legends complex with the home playoff game. Because, I mean, the handful of games that I've gone to, although there has been a good amount of people, I don't know, just a playoff atmosphere, see if it's louder, if it's packed, if the standing room is going to have a lot more people just walking around. When I went to the Union Omaha game, I feel like we were close enough and there wasn't that many people, mostly probably just families, that you could yell something and it would be heard on the field. You know, you could yell good save, good saves, nice clearance. Definitely heard it. There was a few times where I was tempted to yell stuff in Italian to
to Marco and Luca,
yeah. But I thought, maybe not, because I want to say hi to them at the end of the game. I don't want to be like, something rude, but stuff. It's going to be interesting with the playoff atmosphere. I feel like a future Legends complex, because you are really close, and the stadium, I'm not really too worried about it if it gets delayed or not. Right now, as games are not getting a lot of numbers, especially the midweek ones, or especially in the summer, because Hailstorm, like the Rapids, had an issue where games would get delayed due to the weather and have really late kickoffs. So if I wasn't in Windsor watching a game and I was watching the stream, and then an hour and a half later the stream would resume, you could see how many people stuck around. So stuff like that. But I feel like overall, this is a thing with the league. So, but I wanted to. I wanted to go ahead and shift and ask you guys here if you feel like right now the league has hit that spot of, it feels like it gives a sense of a community with each team, or if we're still going there, if we haven't hit the marks. I know for some people to consider that a team or an organization in that town to be part of the community has to accommodate to both a male team, a female team, a youth development program, et cetera, et cetera. Hailstorm is doing it with having a sister sport in baseball, but they're also soon enough will go ahead and present the female team to Windsor. So just wanted to go ahead and get your guys' thoughts across the board with all of the league, if we're getting close to that, if we're already at that mark or that sense of a community feeling.
I think there's the sense that some leagues are doing it at a far better rate than others.
Mm-hmm.
But on the whole, I think the league is doing a really good job of embracing the community, of creating that equality between men's and women's sports, bringing in fans to support, a local club like that. It's really awesome to hear that Hailstorm is going to be bringing in a sister club. You see that Lexington has one, you see that Tormenta has one, you see that Triumph has one. So to know that progress is being made across the league and the way that they're bringing in fans. There are some clubs that are in a small enough community where it seems tougher to bring in fans.
Mm-hmm.
But they're still working hard to create those bridges and get the fans to embrace, local professional soccer. I think it was also really cool, just a side note, to see Eamon and I can't remember the assistant coach's name when they called that inning of the Owls baseball.
Yeah, Colin.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that was. I like when they do that stuff. I think they should try to do that stuff more often.
Yeah.
I remember they kind of sat down and did their own like podcast type talk once, and I was like, "Come on, give me more of that. I want to hear these guys. I want to hear these guys speak." Because I feel like we're not the MLS, we're not going to be completely and utterly professional. We're going to be as professional as can be, but I think we need to kind of throw in that, third division spice, add in some fun things. Like, I kind of want to, since there's no relegation and promotion, I think I kind of be cool to see like the League One winner play the championship winner or something. before the season starts or something cool like that.
Yeah, it'd be cool to have a USL Cup
Yeah.
where only USL clubs competed in it.
Because, I mean, if you're going to have a Leagues Cup, you know, like, there's got to be a way for lower league teams to try to generate more money, I think, or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. A USL Cup would be interesting. It'd be a good way to go ahead and rival another MLS Continental League, another CONCACAF big league like that, Leagues Cup. And who knows? It might be even more balanced, unlike the US Open Cup where it's, what is it, like 24-1, 25-1 now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who do you think will be the first team in USL League One to win a USL Cup? Who could do it? Who could do it?
Depends if there's promotion relegation. Because we don't know what clubs are going to be in League One in the future. If there's not, if we're just taking the active League One clubs that we see right now.
Let's do 2023. Do we think North Carolina can get it done?
Like, beat all the championship clubs.
Not all of them. Let's say there was a USL Cup tournament style. And, you know,
I mean, like, whoever they
based on the draw. You think if North Carolina, Hailstorm, or Union Omaha, if they got a fair enough draw and a route to the final, one of the three could win it?
In the Open Cup?
Not the Open Cup, the new USL Cup that we're just talking
USL Cup.
Yeah. Who do you think will be the first USL League One Cup, you know, taken this year? Well, I guess not. We're doing it this year.
If they went by regions, it's only a matter of time before Hailstorm and Union Omaha would be drawn into the same pot.
Yeah.
Switchbacks as well are in there.
Switchbacks.
New Mexico United? No, I don't think so.
I mean,
I feel like close.
In that regard, Hailstorm and Union Omaha would have the advantage because there are so many more clubs along the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
So North Carolina would be at a disadvantage there.
Yeah, I think it would have to be Northern Colorado or Union Omaha. I think they both play styles that, I mean, we saw it this season already with the Open Cup, with both teams being able to beat championship teams, that it can be done. So I would put my money on one of those two teams, and it just depends on which one of our teams wins the title this year. That would be my pick.
But obviously, amongst Northern Colorado Hailstorm fans and you two and Union Omaha fans and us two, there's no bias happening here.
No, I was thinking until you face a San Antonio FC or a Sac Republic, or those guys are dogs.
Depends when you catch a team. Like if we played Union Omaha recently in the last month, I feel like Omaha has a good chance. But if it was compared to the beginning of the season, or if we played Hailstorm towards late of August, Hailstorm's not winning. You know, if we're playing,
they
Hailstorm,
did. We freaking lost.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Hailstorm would just keep losing. It would be a loss. So
3-2.
But this year, no, in the U.S. Open Cup, no MLS Cup set for us. And you guys went out to St. Louis, correct? No heart.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I got blown out.
Nothing to be upset about because if you guys, I don't know if you saw this, but every MLS pundit that's a big name predicted them 14th, 13th come in MLS. I had them 11th, but they are
they ate.
Yeah,
they qualified for the playoffs already.
Yeah, the Rapids are the only team, I think, I'll have to double check, but last time I checked before their weekend was over, in the West that was eliminated.
And they still beat the Hailstorm.
If Union Omaha faced off against Sacramento Republic, I'd feel okay with that as long as, Sac Rep decided to start all those 14-year-olds are starting to sign to pro contracts.
Oh my God. 13 years, 7 months, and like 2 weeks. Like, that's crazy. I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's obviously too young, but like if you're better than, let's say, every USL Academy kid, and the MLS teams don't want to play, or in higher ages or something, and your goal, like the kid said, is to go to Europe and play. Like, what's your first step, like in development? Like, should you try to just shoot over to a European academy for like a under 15s or something, or
try to find a good academy that's gonna network you to other clubs like Ajax or Dortmund, or what's another? I mean, Barcelona, obviously, that's a good one.
Well, yeah, but I mean that in lies the problem too. That's why League One teams or USL teams in general need to put more thought into developing these academy systems.
Agreed.
Because if they do that, they can keep this talent here, like this 13-year-old kid that can go out and play for a championship squad. If you can bring the kids in and have them work up your academy instead of saying, well, I have to go to Europe to go to a good academy to get signed on and play in Europe. It's like, no, if we build it up here, you can play here, stay here, and then go to Europe. And that brings more credibility to your league and also builds the player pool. It's a win-win situation.
Like, I'm just still like, if you can play at 13. But like, imagine that kid coming up against Rob Cornwall. Like, he's gonna crunch him. Like, you gotta also put I feel like his health in perspective. Like, he's going up against 30-year-old men. Like, like he won't be 20 years old till 2030.
Nick, I feel like you need to step up your recruiting game, because if he's 13 years old, you could obviously use him on your freshman squad.
Oh my! I've been trying to get local Fort Collins kids I find super good to like give it a shot, but I feel like there's still some disconnect with the Windsor Club and Fort Collins still, which I think if they built, they need to. I think I heard a rumor. I can't remember who told me or what was told, but I think we are gonna come out with an academy team.
Oh,
and try to build from the local clubs from the area.
There's got to be a ton of talent out there in Colorado.
Yeah, I just don't think it's properly coached personally, like here, but like, because I mean, and you can't get seen. Like, Trevor is a kid that should have been seen by someone when he was 15. Like, I used to play against that kid, and I've never seen a forward like him in my life, like going up against anyone in my life. Because the kid from like 10 years old, like on when we used to play together, was doing nothing but making sure his left foot was as perfect as his right. Like, I'm never, like, that kid could do like it all, and I just felt like he wasn't being properly seen for so long in Colorado either, because it is kind of hard for us to travel out of the state to go play anybody as well. So I think we needed some, like, an academy team you'll go travel, and then shoot, I want territorial rights to be ridden, and then you can maybe be spotted by another club one day.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be great. I know that they have those college, scouting tournaments or something like that, like in Florida and California. And the college coaches are literally lining the field watching their prospects play. And they just sort of crowd around those players as soon as the final whistle is blown, because they want to try to, get their name out there to the player. Colorado's got to be one of those states.
I think we did host one college showcase at the bubble where there was about 10 to 20 coaches. So I think they are trying to implement that.
I've been to one myself in high school.
Wow.
I was with you, Rico.
Yeah, actually. That's right.
I actually met Rico on this day.
Yeah. Yeah. Met Nick that day. We went to some Chick-fil-A after. Good time. But
yeah.
I'm excited for playoffs. This is gonna be our first playoffs, Nick.
All right, we should try to non-biased. Let's do the top 3, like who we think are gonna make it. I'll get us started. I think the table is gonna finish with Omaha first with that game in hand, and then I think it'll probably be North Carolina, then Hailstorm. So I'll go Omaha, then North Carolina. Or no, yeah, North Carolina, then Hailstorm.
Ooh, let's see. I got to think back to the show that we did yesterday. I did make a prediction that Omaha fans were not going to be happy with. I
You
still
made a
think
prediction that Northern Colorado fans wouldn't be happy about either.
Yeah, neither would be. So I'm already going to have people mad at me. So I really feel that it's going to come to how the table sits now. It'll be NCFC, Omaha, NOCO.
Okay, respect it. That's where I saw the odds they put out today on Twitter, or like the player shield odds, and I'm gonna agree with them. Oh, except for Omaha, I feel like that game advantage is gonna be cool.
I just don't see North Carolina dropping points to the opposition that they have in front of them.
Right, and that's kind of my thought too. I think Omaha will end up dropping points this weekend. So that's where I get NCFC in first.
What about Madison next weekend?
It's 2 back-to-back away difficult ones. You had Tormenta and then what? Madison.
And then Madison.
Oh, I didn't know you guys had that schedule. That's a bit.
Yeah, we're not on our show, Rich. So we're gonna kick Madison out of the entire stadium. That's for sure.
Man, it would mean a lot, I think, to forward Madison to knock you guys from that top.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then compared to North Carolina, I mean, just Lexington and one Knox.
Well, and you think about it, Madison is still, they haven't locked up a playoff spot. So when Omaha goes into Bree Stevens, there's extra meaning to that match.
Mm-hmm.
When's that match? That's this
next
decision
Saturday.
day.
Next Saturday.
All right, then we got, because I think Hailstorm will probably eliminate them first.
Hailstorm playing last again.
Don't we play Madison next?
You play Madison this weekend, yeah. Or
Yeah,
no,
I think.
Yeah, this weekend, yeah.
I think we'll peg them down at home, or I don't know if I can say that. I mean, down a notch, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, decision day is going to be interesting. Man, they're all 5 o'clock. Well, if you want to catch Richmond kickers in Central Valley at 4.
Okay. Eamon shot us his prediction for the season right when it started. And I think he had Richmond right where they're at.
He was spot on. He was actually kind of upset at the fact that because our prediction were, I guess, kind of conservative to what everybody else was.
You're going non-biased. We can't play Hailstorm top 2 or something.
Well, we were telling them like, hey, we only have like 5 guys on the team right now. So I was like, what do you want me to do? Like, we're coming number 1 with Marky Hernandez.
But I expected when they released that Instagram picture of all the guys leaving, I expected all those other guys staying. Like, that's kind of where I was going. Like, they already got rid of all the other guys, and that means they were negotiating with the Cornwalls and so I felt confident, and like I was saying earlier, I felt like the guys we got rid of were replaceable a little bit. I mean, I'm always going to be a Hailstorm fan, but the guys we brought in just seemed like they had to be at least a couple of them stronger prospects than we had. Yeah. I was confident, and then I felt hard done by silly tiebreaker rules last season. Like, we tied them points and had the better goal difference, but we lose because less wins. But maybe that means they have more losses, you know? Like, I think it's silly. I like goal difference, but that's how it is.
We're all European in that regard.
But yeah, Rico, did you have a top 3, son?
I like the way it's going to end with North Carolina, NOCO, Union, Omaha, how it is right now. It's just so easy for, I think, North Carolina to not drop points, and then
Hailstorm got 2 home games to finish it off. Beneficial.
Yeah, the easier schedule too.
Yeah.
But I could see Hailstorm dropping points because we are going into what I would say uncharted territory. Like we're not really putting up the pressure. I feel like just being in the playoffs, there's not that sense of 1, 2, and 3 getting the top number 1 spot compared to because last year we were really, really, really pushing for that spot into the playoffs. So I feel like this year, now that we made it in there, the whole objective is to win the whole thing rather than finish the league top 1, 2, or 3. So,
Well,
So
I think it goes into it though. You want the home playoff games, I think.
well, I feel like with Hailstorm, a team that's spent so many of like their first games always away. Like this season, first 6 away. Last year, so many away. We played so many of our home games at that CSU, Severance, UNC, and now we're just getting into Future Legends Complex. Yeah, we've kind of been settling. It would be nice to obviously have a home game, but I don't feel like Hailstorm away is a weaker side, if that makes sense.
not at all. I mean, that makes perfect sense. They're second in the league in away form.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you take the 3 seed and you win your first round home match in the playoffs, you can still head into your away match in the semifinals feeling entirely confident because they've proven themselves on the road all season.
Very true. I just still trust. I would still rather like, not even from a personal view, I still would trust like our elevation over the other teams and playing on a field we're used to playing on more, and I think that will. And then playing even playing in front of the fans, I think they are going to try to push for that top 1, so they can't secure those home playoff games, secure that ticket revenue at the door.
Yeah, I think you guys will definitely see a bump in attendance numbers come playoff time. It happened with Omaha. It's happened with the majority of teams in the league. As soon as you hit the playoffs, there's that extra buzz. And I mean, obviously, it comes down to if it gets marketed properly and everything like that. But even with just by word of mouth, you're going to see an increase in numbers. And with that standing room only basically being on top of the field, like that's a huge advantage for Hailstorm out there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I went out to the last match and it was completely packed, and I felt like it was just crazy. I loved being there. It was one of the first games I was like, wow, this is getting big.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard people say that when they're playing at One Knox, they feel like the fans are not necessarily on top of them, but like super close to them. That they can hear them directly yelling at them throughout the entire match. And so if you can create that kind of an atmosphere, that kind of intimacy between the fans and the players on the field, the fans literally have an effect on the outcome of the match. If you can continue chirping at the players on the field, you can intimidate them.
Yeah.
Whether you believe it or not, you can intimidate them because they can hear you the entire time.
And
the club this year has really been trying to go ahead and get an atmosphere for the fans. The fans and the people that do go to the games, they're watching the game, they're oohing and ahhing at the chances, but there's no real sense of and again, there's only at most a handful of storm chasers at the game. For the next one, the club is providing drums to go ahead and have someone continuously drum and make loud bangings throughout the game. So the ones, it's that family environment that's there. People just watching the game, oohs and ahs. There's not much chirping. There's no much smacking. I feel like because there's so many kids around and they run around and everything, which there's kids at the Rapids games too, guys. But at the Rapids games, there's so many people and so loud that one guy just saying "you're effing crap" at one of the players just goes on wild. But if I were to if I were to yell at like a Union Omaha player, I knew you're dog water, everyone, even Iman would hear that, so many people would hear that. So the club really wants these fans. I feel like if there's going to be a higher bump in attendance, Storm Chasers just kind of bringing in a new sense of just intimidation at Future Legends Complex. It's going to be cool. It's going to be cool.
Yeah. And So Brian and I have both expressed this opinion that if Union Omaha is unfortunate enough to get that 3 seed in the playoffs and Northern Colorado gets that home playoff match, we both want to be in Windsor for that home playoff match. That would just be so much fun. And I've heard other Union Omaha fans. We had, fans in the live chat saying that they would want to make the trip to Windsor as well. So you have fans from other clubs saying openly that they would travel to your city for a playoff match, even though their club is not involved at all.
Ooh. That is interesting. Actually, I didn't know that. That'd be super cool.
Yeah.
We need a Voodoo Ranger discount.
Yes. I'd be down for that. I love Voodoo Ranger.
Free advertising, Hailstorm. I would be totally down for. I actually hope I hope we square off at some point, if it's the final or just at some point in the playoffs. I mean, I'm also being greedy, saying I want every home playoff game. It's great that we already secured the one, and I hope we can really bring it to, try to force that second game.
Yeah, it's definitely something that whether it be in Windsor or in Omaha, I would attend both of those.
Yeah.
The final, either way, whichever team's hosting, I would be at that final.
Yeah, so I'll be in Statesboro this weekend. Next weekend, I hope to be in Madison. No guarantees, but I hope to be in Madison for Madison Union Omaha. And then after that, I mean, there's the entire possibility I could be in Windsor. So I mean, just the amount of travel that I would do for League One. I mean, it's awesome to think about.
Keep the gas receipts. DM the league.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, just use your media credentials, Rich, and there you go. It's a write-off.
I'm just gonna wait. Rico, you said you had a game. Quick fire question.
Yeah, I did. I did have something set up here, but when I downloaded the PDF in PowerPoint mode, it's not gonna be able to share appropriately. It's gonna look weird, but it was pretty nice. It was a true or false for NOCO, North Carolina. I mean, I guess I can go ahead and say it out loud and stuff. True or false questions for all of them. It was a player name for each team scrambled, and then whoever could guess it first. So it was scrambled, and then just a Q&A question there. I kind of forgot the name of the show that I base it off of, but it's the one where they have the prices, and you're like, this category for $100.
Price is Right?
No, Jeopardy.
Jeopardy.
Oh, Jeopardy. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So Brian's off to the strong start already.
Already got it. Yep.
But no game on this one. It's gonna be the next one after the season's over. We can go ahead and do another show and just recap everything, highs and lows of the season, the playoffs, great moments we've had on our shows, individuals. We're having Coach here after you guys in about a week. And I know you guys were looking to go ahead and have him come on.
Yeah. So if you could, do a little talking for us.
Grease the wheels on that one for us, would you?
Oh, and then Eamon's definitely the guy to do it. He loves to chat about his soccer team and his experiences and just what he's doing. You see him online roasting on the podcast with
he kept the receipts.
He had the receipts,
yeah.
Oh my goodness, I'm just glad he didn't pull up ours because we were just being non-biased.
we had it 4th and 5th. Very good. Yeah, I feel like our top, other than Tormenta, I don't know why I thought they were gonna ball out, but
they won the league.
He was pretty. I feel like he was really upset when he DM'd us and it's like, man, you really don't believe in us? We're like, man, we're trying not to be biased, and we're being biased by giving you a playoff spot with 5 players on an announced roster. So it was a little hard, but
that's why podcast shouldn't do way too early table for
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was also our first. I don't know about you. It was our first USL transfer, USL League One transfer market. Like I didn't know how it operates. Like I didn't know. Like they released an announcement of all these players that they were releasing, and I didn't think that the players that they didn't release that they were going to go ahead and come back, because I was under the assumption that our USL League One Defender of the Year was going to get looked at by USL Championship clubs. Arthur Rogers, or a minimum. An MLS team. I know you guys had a player go to the MLS, to Minnesota United.
Yep.
I think I forgot his name.
Isaac Bawa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna be so lucky this next one.
I don't know how it's gonna go ahead and go. I feel like our only source is coach himself, just asking him, "Hey, can you at least drop an emoji of where the next player is coming from?"
Right.
Because I know Ross, I think, mentioned in his commentary of the Hailstorm game that Trevor was getting a lot of looks.
He has to be getting some looks
from the championship clubs.
Sorry, I was wrong. It wasn't Isaac Bawa. It was Njiba. That's my bad.
Jiba.
Nice. But yeah, so I know. I mean, if Trevor does make a move on to him, which he deserves, like if he does, I hope it's the switchback so he can still play in front of his fam.
Yeah, that would be cool.
You'd want him to go to the dark side?
I like them when they're not chirping me in the sidelines like their fans. I want to root hard for Colorado soccer so bad. We try to hype up all the little tiny teams too here.
What about a move to Rapids too?
What's up?
What about a move to Rapids too?
I just don't like the MLS Next Pro, nor the MLS really, but I just can't like the MLS Next Pro. I just think it's boring. I don't want to watch Trevor play boring football.
Yeah, there's no way that our team doesn't get fleeced by the USL Championship. Like at least Trevor, Arthur, Lalo,
and Bruno for me.
Bruno, yeah.
I'm worried about.
Yeah, I was gonna say 3 to 4 are probably gonna be gone next year for you guys.
And I was impressed that Eamon and all them kept a lot of them anyway.
It's cool. I actually am in really good form for my Sunday League team. So if some players get fleeced, you guys are gonna be talking about me next season, breaking that 20.
Yeah, there you go. Have you guys been following Azteca FC or FC Denver at all?
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, we got. You wanna? Can I was gonna say Azteca beat Harpo's for the 4th consecutive Open Cup round by another 1-goal game. I'm starting to feel bad for the Harpos.
But Azteca FC Denver is the big match that I was honestly looking forward to.
Yeah. FC Denver, I feel like, I don't know, they should try to do a USL 2 route or something.
Azteca is pretty strong, and I think this year Azteca it's probably going to probably beat FC Denver. If there's one team that I think is going to do pretty interesting in the US Open Cup, I want to see Azteca against Noco, but I think Noco has shown in preseason that those teams, they just smack them, throw them in the bubble, just toss them around.
Yeah, I mean, Azteca, my problem with them is they've never actually made the Open Cup. They always lose in that final qualifying round right before. Like they'll win the Colorado qualifying rounds and then they'll go play a team in even Oklahoma will beat us. I don't know.
Well, last year watching FC Denver play against a New Mexico team, and that part of fall where it's so cold outside that the grass is practically like concrete, like the dirt just becomes concrete. And they went to PKs and it was like 5-4 after a boring game. It was like, I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit of bias because I played my first Mexican League Sunday game on Sunday, and just the style of play and the way that tackles were flying. I just love that kind of football. I think the US Open Cup could see a little bit more of just a core team of just the same guys from Latinx heritage, just flying in on tackles, moving the ball around, pinging it around. It's beautiful. But the Mountain Premier League, have you guys heard about the Mountain Premier League here in Colorado and Utah? Yeah, that's something that's growing, competing against the Colorado Premier League. So those are two amateur leagues that are just popping off, and it's kind of nice with the Mountain Premier League each year. It's been going on, I think, 2 seasons now, but all the new teams that are joining, they just had a new team join here in Denver called Timbers SC.
Oh, okay.
And I got a good buddy I used to play with who started the club, and now they're in there and they're traveling around. So
Rico and I have been reached out to commentate games. I think you accepted, but I was like, that's not really my thing.
You turned it down?
I'm not a big commentator guy. I'll probably cuss during the broadcast.
So you could be the color commentator. Let him be the play-by-play. You could be the color commentator. Oh, you guys would be awesome.
It would be fun.
Do you got Yvonne doing it, Rico? Because we've added a couple guys to our LW roster.
Yeah. That's cool. You guys have expanded.
Yeah.
We got a guy from one of our good buddies, of course, but he's from Kansas City. His roommate's a huge Omaha fan, makes the trip as much as he can. Nice. Our buddy hasn't made it out yet, but he tries to go to Sporting KC, and then he's definitely wants to make a Hailstorm Omaha game because we convinced him to be on our side because he went to CSU in Fort Collins.
Oh, that's fair then.
But yeah, it's just cool seeing more people get interested too. Like I'm getting people that probably could care less about lower league soccer in the U.S. to start watching some games. Like they're, probably just stick to the Prem, the basics, Champions League, but getting them to watch, like, look how fun this is too. And they're doing weird stuff at halftime, like it's giving that minor league baseball sense until we can actually grow some.
I'm going a different route. I'm putting my applications into various celebrities to start dating them to bring them into League One matches. I've been turned down left and right, but one of these days I'm gonna get a yes.
We should have
eternal optimism.
We should have been pushing Lachlan last year to
Taylor Swift
to date a celeb.
Well, he was popping on TikTok. He was getting us some TikTok followers.
Like a million last time I saw, but I can't. Love Lachlan, great guy, but I can't watch the content. But shoot, we're over an hour. This is like a third of what you guys do.
All right. Yeah, it really is. Yeah. You're not kidding. I got a question for you guys. Brian and I were kind of talking about it last night. In the off season for hockey season, you saw Pittsburgh Penguins send out some of their hockey players to actual season ticket holders' homes to deliver the season tickets.
Yeah.
If you could have any Northern Colorado player deliver your season tickets to your doorstep, who would it be?
Oh, man.
Wait, I'm sorry. I lost you at the last part of the question. Any USL player or Hailstorm?
Any Hailstorm.
Gotcha. Any Hailstorm player.
Nick obviously just said Lachlan McLean, so we can skip him.
Man, that's hard because, that's hard.
For me, I probably do like Rob, just because I like his accent. I think it'd be funny, and he's the captain, so it'd be cool to see him. But
are you going to hand him a script when he arrives on your doorstep?
What'd you say?
Are you going to hand him a script when he arrives on your doorstep?
I'm going to tell him a script. I hand him some icy hot, whatever he needs.
I'm going to say Arthur.
Okay.
Another good one.
Also the accent.
not the accent. I feel like he's also a really nice guy to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, gives great listener vibes. Just when
All right. What about you guys for Omaha?
I said Rashid Nuhu. That was my
He's
guy.
sick. The goalkeeper.
I said Shivani Willis because you know that he would bring the music with him. He'd be singing and dancing all the way up the sidewalk to your doorstep, and it would be such a party atmosphere. It would be awesome.
I feel like Marky Hernandez would also be a guy who would like to come to my door. I feel like he would be, or even Parr. I feel like they'd be both like you said, like super entertaining or something. A good chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if someone's gonna be bringing me my season tickets, like I want it to be an occasion, and I feel like Chivani would bring that occasion.
Yeah, make it hype.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I say Nuhu because my son's favorite player is Nuhu too. So that's also another reason why I would go with him.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't say my girlfriend's favorite players to come over.
Anybody but that guy.
Maybe no to Rob. Shoot, I'm getting tired, I think, boys. I went and played with all the kids today. And
yeah,
they destroyed my shins. They destroyed my shins. All right, what else we got? Do you think anyone's gonna catch Trevor in the Golden Boot race, or do you think it's dusted?
Oh gosh.
Dusted. Oh, it's over. It's over. It's been over for a while.
Yeah.
What about the assists?
Arthur's got
Arthur. Yep, that's Arthur Rogers.
Yeah.
If you had
now
to give
the interesting one is Lalo for Golden Glove.
Yeah.
Because he's in second place right now.
He's close. Who was the first? It's
Sean Lewis.
Tom Lewis, yeah. Well, I hope he gets scored on a lot.
Ooh, should we make a while we're doing this, just real quick, let's make a Union Omaha Noco Hailstorm 11.
Oh,
try to keep it as unbiased and as understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, 4-3-3. We can already start with the hard position at first. Left bench.
Oh.
Goalkeeper.
Goalkeeper's a tough one because Lalo's having a good year, but I do like Nuhu a lot.
And he was coming off a award season, so we already know what he's capable of.
Mm-hmm.
And he's massive, which when I saw him at Future Legends Compliments, he's massive compared to some of the other USL League One keepers and MLS keepers I've seen. He's one of the top 3 biggest goalkeepers I've seen. Mike Magnon is number 1. I mean, those guys are literally walking bricks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god!
Well, I think I'll pull for Nuhu for the goalkeeper for me.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, going Nuhu as well.
What about PKs though? Would you make a switch?
For PKs, 100%. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm throwing Lalo with her. If I see a PK coming, like I'm panicking, like throwing Lalo out on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Should we go left back over?
Yeah, left back. And Luca plays your left back position, correct? Or is it Mateo?
No, it's Akoff. Or no, is it Shaft? Is it Shaft on the left side? And then Dion's on the right?
Give me 1 second. I've got it pulled up. Shaft plays on the left.
Okay, Shaft on the left, Dion on the right.
And who's our prospect? Because we haven't really had
Lucky Opera.
Yeah.
Ooh, Lucky's got
Lucky.
He's got 7. Lucky's got 7 goal contributions this season as well.
Lucky or Shaft? That one's a tough one. You got a really tough one right out the gate on this.
Yeah.
2 toughies.
Because I do like me some Shaft Brewer a lot, actually. I think I'm gonna go with Shaft.
It's funny because Lucky balled out against Union Omaha.
Mm-hmm.
He did. That's true.
Last time.
He really did.
Yeah.
In an L, I think. So doesn't matter. He's a left back.
I'm actually.
So
I'm gonna go with Shaft too.
So
Yeah.
All right, center back.
the center back?
That was a tough one though.
Center back. So that would be.
But we've had like 3 all year. Going off the top of my head, we've had Leo Fola, Cornwall, and Rogers mostly.
Yeah. So it'd be Cornwall plays on the left, or Milanese plays on the left for Omaha.
Rico, can you pull up some lineups too? Because Cornwall's been hurt, and I know we have had makeshift. Like I think Leo Fola has played more games than him this year.
Yeah, Leo Foles played back there. Rogers has played there, pushing Rendon out wide and Lucky out wide. That's what it's been looking like. Breck hasn't even come in.
Because if we're going purely off this season, Cornwall hasn't been healthy for most of it, and I have seen a drop in his play, but I do think it's because he's coming off injury. So I'm probably not going to go. I'll probably go Master Antonio. Just because.
Oh, okay.
Because I would, and then because then I would have to go him versus Leo Fola, if I'm going to actually consider who's been our real left center back for most of the season. And I'll take him over Leo Fola just in general.
Okay.
I'm taking both Italians.
All
Not
right.
even biased. I don't know. Leo Fola is okay. Rob Cornwall has all right, and I would prefer Rogers at the right back.
Rico, by the way, so I talked to Luca when I think it was like the next match or the match afterwards. After you talked to him when he was coming off the field, you completely took him by surprise when he
I
started
know.
speaking to Italian to him. But he was so happy to hear Italian being spoken at him that he did like a double take. So
I
he
know.
loved it.
You know what? When we play, I got some Italian for him.
My dad was really jealous. He was really upset he didn't get to go to the match. He was like, I definitely would have came to come watch, say hi to some Italians. I didn't know it was going to be that easy to just say hi to them.
Your dad got to meet Chiellini, though, so it makes up for it.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know if I told you guys this, but no, I don't know if I told you guys this, but when LAFC and Colorado Rapids played here at Dick's Sporting Goods Park, and I was in the media tunnel waiting to interview some LAFC players, walked by. I had a chance to talk to them, but I was waiting for Chiellini. But some players will lag behind so they can take pictures with fans. So while I was in the hallway waiting for him, for this man, so I could ask him some questions in Italian, the presser was about to start with head coach Robin Fraser. So I had to, sacrifice that and go into the presser. Well, when I leave, I come back. My dad's taken 5 photos, 2 videos with him, a full conversation. I'm like, what? I'm like, awesome. I'm glad that I had some season ticket members tickets left over, so you get a handful of them. So I was like, this is the one you want to come watch, Dad. Trust me. So
yeah,
that's cool.
But
that is really cool.
So right,
they were super cool. I knew I took one of them by surprise because he was just like,
what?
So but it was cool. I would take them. As I was saying, yeah, just Real Full is great man. He was had a good season, stepping up when needed. Rob a little bit on the decline, and again, I would just prefer Rogers at the right back position.
Oh,
I prefer him in the center.
Not take Rogers.
Yeah.
Well, who are we gonna? Rigo? Who should we classify as like a hailstorm right center back? Is it, like I said, we've been very makeshift in these back fours a lot. I know Rogers played there plenty. I think Cornwall actually has played there mostly.
Yeah, because Foya plays on the left, closest to. Lucky.
I was gonna say Cornwall's playing right center back, not left. I think in general.
Yeah, Cornwall's on the right, and Rogers would be there.
I think I want Rogers as center mid for when we do this vote, because that's where all his productivity has been really this season. Because Noah's come in and Bruno Rendon playing right back.
Ooh, Bruno.
So I think wait, who's your guys' right center back? I think we should pair him up against Cornwall for this right center back conversation.
Yeah, I'd take Cornwall.
Over who's your guys' right?
Swahi.
Yeah,
Swahi.
Swahi.
Cornwall over him?
Yeah.
Okay. Right back. See, this is where I want to throw Bruno Rendon in there. Because that's where I feel like.
Oh, dang it. I
Rendon.
really like Bruno too.
Oh, it's Rendon and Dion Akoff.
Oh my gosh.
With the 4-3-3, you could have Bruno higher up though.
But that's where I feel like since Noah Powder has come into the team, that's where he's filled.
I'm looking at literally like the lineup from when we played last time, so I should probably look at like the most recent one, so I could.
I feel like it would be criminal to leave Bruno off this list. I really like Bruno.
I know, but Akoff is a beast running up that wing. I'm still getting flashbacks of that. You guys beating, what was it, the Chicago Fire?
Yeah.
On one of those goals, and he just storming up there.
Yeah.
My word. Oh, goodbye, Rico.
Bye, Rico.
Yeah, but then Bruno, I think I'm gonna biasly say Bruno.
Fair. That's fair.
I feel like it depends on the tactics, but man, I really like Bruno.
I'm gonna say Akoff personally on this one. But
I think ultimately I would give Akoff the edge. But I mean, I'm going to say it over and over and over. Like, I really like Bruno. He's fun to watch. He's a good competitor.
I'm going to restructure the back line. Mine's going to be Luca and Arthur in the middle with Akoff and Bruno. I want that height. I want that size in the back and that speed. And just being able to play out of the back.
Okay.
With just two guys that can crush on the flank, and then Rogers from deep with his playmaking. And then
we got a split.
That's my back. I feel bad leaving guys like Marco and Rob out, but someone's gonna be on the bench. So
yeah,
we got super subs. Yeah, we got subs.
Teams Nick's girlfriend subs. Is so mad at you right now.
Lauren. Funny because Nick's girlfriend and my girlfriend have the same name.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dating some Laurens.
4-3-3. Who's playing that 6?
So wait, are we going with Akoff? Or are we going with Bruno at right back?
Oh, you guys are more than welcome to.
Because I think we had a split vote.
Rico's splitting off.
Yeah, that's my bad. We have to have everyone together. It's our starting 11. My apologies. So we're doing the Rob. Yeah,
no, we're doing Bruno versus Dion Akoff.
No, I'm taking Akoff.
All right, there's the split. Akoff right back.
Bruno, super sub Bruno.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's this team's bench is going to be deadly for sure.
Yeah.
All right, number 6. This is our Kwakwa.
Yeah.
I'm going JP.
I like Kwakwa a lot. He had one game where he pissed me off.
I like Kwakwa too.
He pissed me off one game, but other than that, I like him. But he hasn't played, because when I do my stats, he hasn't played as much as some of the other guys due to suspensions and stuff. So who's your guy, sorry?
JP Skiers.
Oh yeah, I'm taking Skiers.
Oh yeah, he's pretty good too.
I like Skiers.
Even when you guys signed Enoch Kwakwa, when I watched the film of him, I was thinking, holy crap, like this guy's going to be good in League One.
Yes, I trust the heading ability of JP's.
Yeah.
I like that he scores goals too.
Yeah.
So I think I'll take Skiers.
Scores.
I like it.
How do you pronounce it?
Skiers.
Skiers.
Yeah.
So then, we'll do I don't even know how we'll do. Should we do two center mids?
For 2-8, 2-8.
2-8.
Yeah.
So we got Rogers, and who would our Jackson Dietrich?
Ooh,
Probably
Jackson.
starting most of our games.
Jackson.
Jackson, if I had to have like my
Nordy?
own Hailstorm awards, he'd probably be on like most improved player from last season because I've seen like a huge jump from that injured Jackson we signed from I think it was
What
the
about
Red
Foya?
Wolves. I can't remember.
Foya
And
has
then-
also stepped up.
Who's up?
Leo?
Yeah, but if we're gonna do, it's got to be for me Jackson. I think he's played more than Norde though. I cannot like I'm having it's Arthur on one side and then it's got to be Norde or Jackson. So if you want to flip a coin on who you want to go against, go for it because
Yeah,
they
Arthur
both kind
is
of
a
split time.
yeah. There's no contest for Arthur. He's going in there.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Who you knocking down from against Arthur? Should we do like right center mid to make it easy? If there is one.
For
I feel like
Omaha,
Jackson is such a solid pick, though.
Or for Omaha.
I mean, you could even throw like Luis Heel in there,
I do like
getting
Luis.
a ton of assists.
yeah,
I'd probably give it to Luis and Arthur. I
Okay.
kind of like that. They both are gonna provide a lot.
Yeah,
So we got
that's a lot of assists between those two guys.
yeah.
Pierce, Luis, and who was the last one?
Arthur.
Art Rogers.
Rogers.
Oh man, that's a lot of assists. Yeah. Holy shit. That's. Oh, sorry. Are we allowed to cuss on this one?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool.
Left wing. I think this is our Billy King.
Oh yeah, Billy King.
What about that Gallardo guy?
Yeah,
Gallardo.
it's King and Gallardo.
Oh.
I'm taking Billy King.
Yeah,
I'm
I'll take
taking
Billy
King,
too.
and here's my perspective. I feel like when he's off the pitch, we lack that being able to stretch the field.
Yeah.
He's always cutting across the middle, being able to change the point of play. And he just provides that pace that we kind of do. We're not the most pacey team. We're more a build it up, let Roger swing something in. Trevor's pretty pacey, so let Trevor do his thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a front three of Noko with King, Amon, Powder?
What's the right wing for y'all? Because once you start throwing Noe in there or something, or wherever they play, it gets interesting.
So right wing back for us is Brito.
Bruto's been good this year. Wrote his name down a lot.
But where would you throw in Noi though?
Attack center striker guy. Center.
He wants him at the number 9.
Mm-hmm.
And Trevor, I think, locks that down for just this season if we're doing combined.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, Rigo, we want Noah. I know he's been our guy recently. I think we also got the Marquis Hernandez at the right wing, who's been excellent as of late.
Yeah.
Super sub for me. Super sub for me.
Yeah, I like Marcus.
True. Yeah.
Like
super sub.
When it gets tired legs, oof.
Yeah.
Like even against switchbacks and extra time, I was like, this is like unfair.
That's what he likes.
Yeah. This is unfair. This is like some 15-year-old kid playing right back for switchbacks who just played 95 minutes. Like going against Marky Hernandez who's coming in. It's like, man.
So what formation does Omaha usually play?
4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
4-2-3-1. So who's your right mid-ish, I guess? Is that Brito?
Luis?
It depends. It's really hard to like pin down guys for our formations because it free flows the entire match. Nobody really stays in the same position. They stay on the same side of the field, essentially, is all this team does.
Does this team really need 2 center backs? Let's be honest, guys. Can we overload the offense?
I think the combined 11 for this team is going to score goals, even if you had nobody up top except for Trevor. So,
Yeah.
Shoot.
Do you have me up top? And let me tell
Yeah.
you,
Because, I mean, who's coming off the bench? Noe, Gallardo.
Bruno.
That's crazy.
Which one of you said that you were leading scorer in Colorado history or whatever?
Me?
No, his school.
Just from my high school.
Like, yeah. So yeah, we're putting you in there too.
Yep.
Left wing. And I got it on lock.
It's some nice moments in high school. We were talking about it a while back, Nick and I. If USL League One was around when we were in high school, we'd probably take it harder a little bit, try. Because it's funny, one of the kids in my conference when I was in high school played at Denver East. He was a goalkeeper at Denver East. We played him, beat him. Now he's playing in USL League One for Richmond Kickers. Anybody for $100? Who can that be?
You said keeper?
Yeah.
Kieran Fitzgerald, backup keeper. Oh gosh, I don't know that one.
That is a sicko question.
That's a super sicko question.
Ignore the typing in the background that I'm doing.
I mean, I could easily look it up, but yeah, I don't know Akira's backup.
It is Will Palmquist.
Palmquist. Dang it.
That's a Colorado lad?
Yeah, he played for Rapids, played Denver East. I've played a handful of times against him.
Never played that school.
Never lost.
You heard that? Look at that. Oh, look at
that. Rico was a goalkeeper himself, man. You should have tried.
Which it's kind of funny because when I went to watch Union Omaha and Hillstorm at Windsor, Peñaranda was the only goalkeeper on the team sheet. And I think they had Bruno and like another guy doing warm-ups, just like try it out. It's so Lalo was on the bleachers because we had the supporters section, some fans, and then he was with his hoodie up on the front row watching the game. And so because I realized, I was like, man, who's the backup keeper? And Bruno was messing around at first, and then I saw Lalo on the bleachers, and I thought, wow, if Johan gets hurt or something, like we have no goalkeeper. They could ask me. I'm right here.
Yep.
There was earlier in the season when One Knox was having trouble with their keeper health. They had a defender that was wearing the keeper jersey on the sideline just in case they needed somebody. And he was a former Union Omaha player who played defense for Union Omaha. But it was funny seeing him wear the keeper jersey on the sideline. Like, that doesn't look right.
I had this Harry Kane moment. That's so funny. Not only League One, but I swear you'll see something weird like that every other week in this league.
Yep.
Man, what I really want to talk about tonight is I was actually really rooting for Fuego this year. Like when they sacked their coach and they brought some new guys in, I was like, come on, let's win some games, because I was beefing with Lexington fans online after we lost 4-3, because I was like, this is Brad. No, not to them, but like all in my head. I was beefing with them. I was just messing. I was like, all right. I was like, the refs won't help you in playoffs with the winky face. And then, because obviously they weren't going to make it.
Right.
So I started beefing with them, but then I was like really pulling for Fuego to jump him in the table. I was like, come on, Fuego. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, you're preaching to the choir, because you're talking to a guy here who was adamant that Central Valley was not going to be getting the wooden spoon this season. But yeah,
every single week, Rich would bring that up.
I noticed. I thought their play increased. They kept losing still.
Yeah,
I was like, they're playing better. It's gonna happen this week.
Yeah, it's like we said all the time. They play really well. They just never get results.
Yep.
They never lose in like 7-0 blowouts. They always lose 3-2, 2-1. Like It's insane.
Unless they play these dogs. I'm just kidding. Super fun though. I just really root for them, and I'm kind of shocked. I'm still shocked that Richmond's this bad. I'm even more shocked and proud that they can pull 6,500 fans on a 14-game winless streak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't catch me there. I'm taking a month hiatus. I'm like, I can't be depressed anymore watching that.
I need a mental health month.
I was really hoping to make it to Richmond earlier this season because I have friends that live in Richmond, and the Union Omaha match was on a Friday night, and there's no way I was going to be able to fly out for a Friday night match.
Yeah.
If it was Saturday, I would have made that happen.
Yeah, and I kind of like the Richmond fans I've encountered online. Yeah. It's a good, fun club.
Yeah.
Yep, just hoping Hailstorm one day we play on a soccer field, get the fans. I'm actually, one of my biggest highlights of this whole season was that we signed Eamon to like 2026 or something.
Yeah.
That's a big get.
He signed that 3-year contract. Yeah.
I'm like, because I think his wife loves it here. He's enjoying it here. Probably just, I think he's an outdoorsy guy from what I can tell online. So yeah, he loves the mountains. So it's just good to have him and his. I think he's done a great job for being a second-year professional coach.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he's definitely on my short list for coach of the year.
Yeah.
I think also his just ability to pull quality players.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? He's done something with Northern Colorado that we talked about yesterday on our show with Forward Madison. Like, he's built a culture in Northern Colorado that everybody on that team knows exactly how he wants them to play and knows exactly what they have to do. And that's hard to do. Because, I mean, the example we used yesterday was Forward Madison. I mean, Glazer's in his second year, and he hasn't been able to figure it out yet. So, I mean, that right there puts him in my book, as coach of the year already.
I mean, even in the absence of Irvin Parra, I feel like so many people across the board were saying, oh yeah, he's going to have a great season. Well, obviously, things happened and we're all rooting for him in his absence. But for Eamon to find the talent, the replacements, and go full steam ahead the way that the team has, huge credit out to Eamon Zayed for that.
And I think when we talked to Eamon before the season started, he mentioned he really wanted to get the best out of Trevor this year. He felt like last year Trevor would get in the opportunities, but he was missing his chances, missing the free headers. It was his first year as a professional because his time at Detroit, I'm not sure, or it might have been. He was pro there too, but I think he only played a game or two. So like this, his first like truly professional experience. He still scored 5 goals last year, our first ever hat trick for the club. But yeah, I think himself and then Eamon's confidence, like he's really gotten the best out of Trevor. And it's also nice to have a goal scorer as a coach.
Yep. I was looking at a bunch of the stats from League One history and kept seeing Eamon's name in some of those stats, and I kept thinking, man, it's so weird seeing a current coach as a former player in some of these stats that I'm looking up. It's weird, but it's at the same time, it's cool.
I keep a chronological list of all the goals ever scored since 2019.
Yeah.
And then I dropped the ball though this year when it was approaching the end where it was going to be the most goals in the season. I think I mentioned something tiny on Twitter, and I did get a shout out on one of the games, one of the commentators from one of the games, or our lower leagues did. But man, I really dropped the ball because I was like, man, this league season, like 5 weeks before the final game, has already surpassed every league season plus playoff goals. Like, this has been a goal frenzy year.
Yeah, really has.
And I think it's the quality and the entertainment's really gone up as well. At least maybe I'm being biased because my team's top 3.
No, it has. It's
It's
definitely
higher
been
scoring. Yeah.
more fun to watch, especially being in America. Obviously, goals are what sells the league. So
Because you got teams like Lexington who are going to lose more than they're going to win, but they might score 2 or 3 on you still. Like, it's good to see, like, even our bottom teams, bar a couple, that they're still, like, the whole league is still, I would say, fairly balanced.
So interesting to
speaking
see
of-
if there are any betting odds for USL League One. If there were,
Oh, I
they would
do.
all be.
yeah, there are.
Oh, yeah, dude. I nailed the hailstorm odds. They have
They're so
no
hard to
idea what they're
predict
looking
games.
at, bro. I'm telling you. It'll be like hailstorm at home versus, I don't know, Chattanooga, and they'll have them at like plus 150, and I'm nailing it. Like, there's no way I'm missing on that.
He's got that blank wall behind him, but if he stands up and starts taking a tour, he's standing in a mansion right now.
I was standing in a room with all my laundry on the floor. The office is not clean at the moment, so it will be. I took all my scarves down to send a cool video to the Omaha Parliament or a picture because they were doing like Scarf Day or something.
Yeah.
I'm up to like 24 of these things. My girlfriend hates that I spend my money on it because she's like, take me to dinner instead.
listen, that dinner is in and out of you. These scarves last a long time. Okay.
Yeah, these are going to be in the box for my kids for generations.
Brian, that was perfect.
It's true.
Oh, I see you're wearing a big Blackhawks fan.
I am, man. It's almost hockey season. They're playing tonight. They're playing the Red Wings.
Dude, we
Preseason,
are
so obviously it doesn't matter, but at the same time, hockey's around the corner, so
exactly. We're Rico and I we're pumped for our Colorado Avalanche. We love those boys.
yeah.
A ton. Because
I'm gonna be
hockey's
honest.
just
I
so
don't
cool.
really care about anything other than soccer. The Broncos are so bad right now that everyone
Hey,
around
but
me
they
is
beat
talking
the
about the
Bears.
Broncos.
We beat the Bears.
We beat the Bears. Like,
It was the XFL relegation match. And see you Bears. No, just kidding. But yeah, no, I'm excited for hockey season. I enjoy the Avs, and especially when we're pretty good now, like these days with McKinnon in our squad. So I'm getting ready for some hockey season. As
okay, you're muted.
Yeah, the Avs are going to have a good season this year.
well, boys, I think I have to go. My pops is calling me, so I think I'm going to answer that. Super good chatting with you guys. This was a really fun. This was a really fun conversation.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Anytime.
Yep. So I gotta go. I'll see you later. You guys can still chat it up.
Cool. See you, Nick.
See you later.
Thanks for joining us, Nick.
See you, folks.
It's always a good time.
Oh yeah, definitely is. It's been a good conversation. It's gone in a few interesting directions as well throughout the night.
It's really surprising how much being part of a supporters group, Nick and I, how much we talk about the supporters group and USL League One and Hailstorm like every day. I don't talk about the Rapids every day unless I want to talk about the Rapids or something is happening. But in our Storm Chasers supporters group chat, we're constantly talking about games or events that are coming up, things that we need to plan for and practice for. It's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot, but
I bet, yeah.
it's fun. It's fun. This season's been, now that we're winning a lot, we're making a lot of history. It's been a great time. It's been a great ride. So I'm really looking forward to our first playoffs. I'm just looking forward to the fact that a Colorado team is in a playoffs. The Rapids are not, so I won't be able to cover that.
Hey, but you do put out some good videos from your coverage at the Dick Sporting, park and all that kind of stuff. So credit to you, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a little bit more original, creative, do some different content with those videos because it's just, I mean, I always do enjoy making the pregame ones that you see and then the postgame ones. But so many of the postgame ones were repetitive, like, we lost. This is what they said in that press conference.
Yeah.
It's the same as last week. We'll get them again. So those kind of got a little bit. But
Yeah.
now I want to these next two videos that I'm going to go ahead and make. They're going to be a day in the life of, but pretty much gonna kind of get a POV of what it's like to go to a Rapids and then a hailstorm game.
Oh, cool.
So
That's
you kind of
really cool.
you'll get to see me parking, going through the stadium, what it'll be like, the sections, all of that. So hopefully I can do a pretty lengthy one so fans from other USL League One teams can go ahead and see what it's like at Future Legends Complex, stuff like that.
Joe Chats has done similar things over at Chicago Fire. So, yeah, you two, I definitely follow you two on social media. I also follow Daniel Sperry. He's with Sporting Kansas City. But the three of you guys, I mean, I think I follow you three the most for MLS coverage, like in the booth, writing about the clubs and covering them. And I mean, the three of you guys put out some very cool stuff, and I love following you guys on social media.
It's interesting. I never thought MLS was something that I would get myself into, even USL League One, honestly, because after I moved from Italy to the United States, I still kept watching Serie A. I still watch Serie A today, and then I watch Champions League. Of course, we got big day tomorrow for Milan, but Pulisic. I am very happy with Pulisic at Milan, but no, I mean, I love soccer so much. Now that we got, once I got into MLS and Hailstorm popped into Colorado and, got to get into USL League One. So it's a lot of fun, but the Rapids specifically, just getting that experience and this season, learning new things. I'm sure up at the booth, it's always different every time you go, but it's been awesome from just writing articles to making these videos that you like to actually having sources throughout the league that talk transfers, what I can't tweet about, stuff like that, just the power of networking. And then I went from doing all these Rapids games. I got to see Milan Barcelona at Vegas. So that was a really cool experience. Got to interview some pro players for those teams. So it gives you that experience because that's why we brought on Nick mentioned earlier, Yvonne. He's going to be helping with he just graduated from UNC Oprah and Greeley with journalism, and he wants to get himself into the industry, the sports media industry. So having someone who is a little bit more courageous because it gets a little bit nervous. It's really nerve-wracking being on camera or commentating or interviewing players. I sometimes shake when I talk to some players, even some of the Hailstorm players, when I'm asking them questions on the side. You'll see my hand like a little bit, but it's cool. It's awesome. It's a lot. USL League One has been an amazing experience for both Nick and I, and we're trying new things, from me being social media manager for Storm Chasers to Nick being a finance chair, which is like completely opposite. Like 9 to 5, I'm in finance, and then Nick has really good experience with social media, just advertising and marketing. So since he does our Linners and Wosers channels, but playoffs, we've been talking about it now. We're finally here. We're not scared of away, but we'll be excited for having a home match.
Oh yeah, and you guys should be. I mean, it'll be a really cool experience for you guys to get that first home playoff match out of the way, and honestly, with the bottom 3 in the table, depending on who you end up playing, Northern Colorado matches up really well with most teams in the league. So I think your chances are pretty good of having more than one home match this season.
Will be interesting because we play Madison coming up. We just played Greenville, so we know if we get to see them again, what it looks like based on recent form, how we look like versus them. Likewise can be said about Madison if they're in there. and we play really well against them this weekend and we get a win, we can kind of get an idea based on the previous performance what it could be like. Charlotte, haven't been too much attention on them recently, honestly. But again, those three, yeah, it's not like with the other two teams is what I was going to say. It's one of those. It could be a little dark horse. They can get it. They can pull out a win, or a scary one of those last minute 1-0 wins. If you walk away with a 1-0 win because you score late because it was a tough game, like I could see that happening.
And it's so funny that you mentioned both Greenville and Madison because Northern Colorado has the exact same results against them. They have one win, they have one draw, and they hold the aggregate against them 2-0. So, I mean, mirror image. If you're walking into the playoffs and you're the 3 seed and you're going to be hosting one of those teams, I mean, flip a coin. Who do you want to play?
I don't know. If I'd rather play Greenville, honestly, because there's a player on forward Madison right now. I can't think of his name that I really rate. He's really good goal scorer. So
Christian Chaney?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think so. Give me a moment. I'm gonna double check. I think he moved to forward Madison. He was somewhere else last year.
Yeah, he was with Fuego last year.
Yeah.
So you never know. With the playoffs, anything can happen in this league. So I'd rather, if I had to choose one or the other, probably Greenville.
Okay.
I mean, would you guys say differently? I mean,
no, I think you're on the right track because Greenville they play a lot more of a conservative style, which plays right into Northern Colorado's hand. And they haven't been as successful with scoring goals. They've had to get their results on narrow margins this season. So I think that plays into Northern Colorado's hands as well.
Yeah, I feel like we'll see a lot more of the ball, against Greenville. And a lot less pressure on the back. Ford Madison, although they only have scored 38 goals so far, and you only need one in the playoffs. So, and they have guys who can do it. So they're a little scary, but
yeah,
this year is going to be really interesting because we have some. It's strong all across the board. Because even South Georgia Tormenta right now can still go ahead and pull it off. One knocks. It squeeze into one of those that last spot for Ford Madison.
Yeah, they've got Knox has a really long road ahead, and they need a lot of help. But definitely South Georgia and Forward Madison are two teams that could possibly interchange before the end of the season, and I know that would break the hearts of a lot of Forward Madison fans.
Yeah, One Knox got some tough fixtures ahead. I think if they walk out with the 6 points against Richmond and North Carolina, it'd be really impressive for them. But man,
that's a tough task.
Yeah, that's tough.
Because the decision on the 14th against North Carolina,
I think their fate will be decided by then.
Yeah, and imagine in a scenario where Northern Colorado or Union Omaha didn't drop points. And North Carolina is not looking to drop points either. One Knox is looking to go ahead and get that point in because, I don't know, maybe Ford Madison dropped points against Northern Colorado. It's going to be interesting. We'll see.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I love watching the league the entire season, but right now is when it is the most fun to cover the league.
Yeah,
it was like that last year, except in the hailstorm positions, we were where Georgia is at right now. Tormenta.
Yep.
So
we were rooting for you guys so hard during that time too. We really thought you guys were going to make the playoffs.
It got to a point where I was thinking to myself, is this just we make the playoffs? It's the first year. Is that the achievement just so we can get into playoffs and just crash out horribly, or it's okay missing it? I mean, in hindsight, it's okay that we missed the playoffs. We built a stronger team, and now we're going in as one of the top teams. So I feel like hopefully, the team is not like us, the fans. We're super excited that we made the playoffs, but hopefully the team is past the mentality that we got to make playoffs now. It's time to win the whole thing. They're not thinking about that. But
yeah, and I just hope that there's some time in the schedule available such that Brian and I can make the trip out to Windsor for a USL League One playoff match. Hopefully, it's not Northern Colorado and Union Omaha playing in that match, but I'd love to make it out to Windsor.
Well, I was telling Nick, we had a lot of plans this year to try to go to some of the games, an away game or two, and it was already hard enough to make a home game because some of the home games they play when the Rapids play, and then if the Rapids are not playing, Hailstorm's away, or if they are home, maybe I have something going on in my life. So the games that I have made it have been exceptional. But we were talking about the final, whoever is in it, regardless. I feel like this year, with the amount of growth that we've made in covering USL League One and understanding more of the league, following the league, and interacting with the league, it's the biggest doable final that we can go to, if that makes sense. We're not spending $30,000 to go watch Houston Dynamo and Inter Miami, or or we're not going to Leagues Cup to watch that. And the USL League One final is still a final, and it's doable. We're not going to fly. Don't fly Spirit. We're going to fly something else.
Yeah, I'm flying Southwestern this weekend.
Good. I say that because I will fly Frontier or United, but I went to Vegas, and I thought, I'm leaving on a Tuesday. The game's on a Tuesday night, and I'm leaving on a Wednesday morning to come back. I don't want to spend all this money. I can take a Spirit flight, and I did that. And a whole shebang happened at the airport where I ended up not boarding my flight and me missing it. So having to use those credits and buy a ticket at Frontier and spending twice as much just for a one-way. So learned my lesson. Learned my lesson. So hopefully it's in Omaha, so I can be like, Nick, we're driving.
Yeah. If you guys ever come to Omaha, let us know, and we will treat you guys to a good time.
I'd love to. I've only driven by. I've driven through Nebraska. I've driven through Omaha. I think I've stopped once with my family on a road trip, maybe a dad craving when he was like, I have to. But I'd love to. Other than the big lake that's really close to Colorado that you guys have in Nebraska, and the fact that you guys have the rivalry with CU. I don't like CU, and anytime you guys beat CU loses is a good time. Yeah. Actually, that day at the airport, I was talking to some lady who was flying to Omaha, who was seeing. I don't know if it was a relative or friend, but they like meet up once a year and just the whole weekend eat corn related dishes, like corn related. There's this sweet lady. She saw me at the bar. I had my AirPods in. She was trying to talk to me, and I was like, "Yeah, I'd love to have a conversation. Where you going? Blah blah blah." And when she was talking about it, I was like, "Oh, I have some friends over in Omaha. I wonder if so much of your guys' diet is corn based." So, but maybe it sounded like it was just like a weekend extravaganza that she's just going to visit some friends and stuff like that. So
nice.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Let me get some corn kernel out of my teeth.
It's nice. Well, you know, here in Colorado, it's a different type of flour that people are munching on.
Yep.
Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah. So that's the stereotype. But fellas, I really appreciate you guys wanting to go ahead and hop on this episode with Nick and I. It's been always an awesome pleasure doing one of these every few months. I know that we're planning on doing another one at the end of the season so we can recap it. And it's been awesome, at least from my point of view, just following along you guys' episodes and rewatching them on YouTube. I work from home. You can see my work setup, and this is my personal setup, so I just have it playing in the background. Except this morning, I'm going to bring it up again, Brian. I sat through 15 minutes.
I know. I got to get on it.
Of an inch, which was all right because when you're typing, you don't notice it. But there was one or two moments where I was like, man. But once I got to listen to it, it was a great podcast as always, guys. And you guys, to everyone who stuck around and listened and watched this with us, their ads are right there. I'm going to drop the Twitter one more time for people to go ahead and follow. Got plenty of. Since this is being recorded and I'm editing it, a lot of it, there's going to be some clips that we talk about 7 to 10, 15 seconds. I'm going to make some cool content for that. Post them on our Instagram, try to get some more traffic on there. You guys don't have an Instagram, correct? I can't find one because you just tag us.
We're looking to expand in the off season.
It's two different things. I'll say that.
I do hype up our episodes on my personal account. But like I said, we're trying to expand and we're looking into getting an Instagram account.
Yeah, it's very different. They both operate differently. Like you can't operate Instagram the same way you would operate Twitter and vice versa. It's very different. And I will say that when you guys make a Twitter post and you get individual commenting on them, those people, regardless of the comment they make on Twitter, will always be smarter than someone's on Instagram. Some of these Instagram comments sometimes on our posts, I'm like, they don't make sense. I think it's just bots and spams. But again, guys, thank you so much for being with me. We went to the 2-hour mark. This is officially the longest Linners and Wosers episode that we're going to go ahead and publish. But everyone, thanks for tuning in. Enjoying the finest footy news. USL League One. We got USL League One footy this weekend. Playoffs coming up in less than a few weeks. Who do you guys think is going to go ahead and get that number 1 spot? Northern Carolina, Union Omaha, Northern Colorado. Be interesting to see. And everyone can go ahead and leave their comments in the video and the tweets below. So